So what is normal among secularists? Because our normal behavior doesn't look like normal human behavior. Because quite frankly, Baptist behavior and sexuality, at least their self-reported behavior, looks pretty abnormal. When you ask a group of Baptists, do you masturbate, and nobody raises their hands, that is just abnormal. You are a freak. All of the Baptists that don't raise their hands are lying. I studied with the great psychotherapist Darrel Ray back in the late 70s. And Albert Ellis had a famous saying. He said, 97% of males will admit to masturbating, and 3% are lying. It's somewhat similar to women. And although women's masturbatory behavior is lower than men, it's still pretty darn high. So any group, you don't get any hands up, there's a whole lot of liars in that group. So, sexual entertainment. What is the sexual entertainment that women tend to use? Well, the first thing they like is erotic novels. Is anybody surprised? No surprises here. And 49% of the women, they can choose up to 3 in our survey, 49% said they liked erotic novels. And I mean, these are explicit erotic novels, not just your Harlequin stuff, although some of that's pretty hot. And then the next thing was videos with a plot. There's got to be a plot to them. On down here, you just get regular pictures, and then you get the internet shorts, 5 minutes of just people in naked bodies doing all sorts of things. All right, so that's what women like as sexual entertainment. And we found that over 76%, or about 76% of women say they use porn. Period. It's a very common thing. It's not nearly 100%, but it's a very high percentage of our sample. Now, you might think, well, secularists, they're just a bunch of perverts, so they're using porn too much. But do you know where the highest porn use in the United States is? Give me a guess. You guys can't say. Huh? No. State, Utah. Utah has the highest usage of porn by 11%. The second highest state in the nation is Mississippi. Mississippi and Utah are the highest porn use. How do we know? That's where all the searches are coming from for sex on Google. It's really easy to find this stuff anymore. Now, as early as the 1999, other research showed the sales. This is back when the internet really got going rapidly. The sales of porn, this is actual hard copy, not hardcore, hard copy, with a magazine, something holding it. Sales of internet, of hard paper-bound copies the highest sale was in Utah. So Utah continues to use porn more than any other state. It's also among the most religious states in the nation. So we can see, I kind of got off track there, sorry about that. We can see that women like erotic novels and videos with a plot in our group. And males, what do males like? Well, they like short videos. Because, quite frankly, the thing that nobody talks about is porn is used for masturbation. Period. That's 99% of why people look at porn is to get themselves sexually excited. And that's the way humans are. You watch a video of chimpanzees or bonobos, and they actually watch each other having sex in the wild. So our brains are wired to watch people having sex. It seems to entertain us. It seems to stimulate us. It's not a new behavior in terms of humans. It goes back millions and millions of years. So short vids, that's what a lot of men like. They like pictures, of course. Now, where's the erotic novels? Oh, clear down here. They really don't care for that. So we got to get a switch between the men and the women. And I'm sure if we could get the Baptists to answer the survey. Amanda and I haven't figured out how to get Baptists and Catholics to answer the survey. I'm betting this wouldn't change with them, probably. If they're using it, they just won't admit it. Now, is there a difference in the beginning of porn use by religiosity? In other words, if you're highly religious, if you're raised really religious, do you use porn less than those who were not raised highly religious? Now remember, the people who evaluated their homes as an 8, 9, or a 10, those people were darn religious when they were 15, 16 years old. They had no idea they were probably going to become an atheist at the age of 25 or 50. They're not predicting their own future. So we can say that this is pretty reliable information, and it's being compared against people who are saying their homes were 1, 2, or 3. So here's what we found. We found the least and most religious. You just glance at this chart, and you can say there's hardly any difference. Whether you were raised very religious or very non-religious, you start to use porn about the same time. I know this from my own experience. I was raised in a very fundamentalist home, and the neighbors and my dad all had porn, and we all knew how to find our dad's and our neighbors' porn. We were all sneaking around and pulling it out and looking at it. I'm 13, 14, 15 years old. The most religious people in our church, the most religious elders that I had access to their homes, through their kids and stuff, we all knew where the porn was. It was almost 100%. But they would preach sermons against porn, they would teach Sunday school classes against it, even as they are using it themselves. So you can see, there is a slight difference, but they catch up. At this point in time, you see the most religious are beating us out. They're catching up. They're using porn much more than we are. There's no doubt they start a little bit later, but there's no difference by age 21 between the two, or no significant statistical difference. So Amanda and I were just blown away by the thousands of comments and hundreds of pages of people gave us their life story. We did not realize when we put this survey up just how much people wanted to tell us their story. So we got thousands of comments, hundreds and hundreds of pages. We haven't had time to analyze it all yet. But I want to show you some of the comments. Some of these stories were just heartbreaking. Some of them were hilarious, but, like the one kid, we asked questions about, were you ever berated for using pornography? And one kid said, well, yeah, my mom got on me for putting it on her computer and told me to get it off her computer and put it on my own thumb drive. We got several of those. Or another comment said, yeah, my dad really got upset at me when I filched his penthouse magazines, but that was the only consequence. He kept looking at them. Obviously, those are from the less religious and hung up homes. But here's some of the things that people told us after we got out of religion. I stopped feeling guilty about having sex outside of marriage, and I owned and explored my sexuality, which is something I never felt comfortable doing when I was religious. Or here's another one. I have learned more about my own body and am more open to different sexualities portrayed by different people. Also, I'm open to sexual exploration while in a relationship. Another, I'm not afraid to have sex now. I don't feel guilty about masturbating, and I don't feel bad anymore about having sucked my friend's cock. On a side note, I would like to mention he was the preacher's son in church I was attending. We got a lot of that. We got a lot of this Sunday school teacher and stuff. This one was probably one of the more heartbreaking ones, because this is downright dangerous. There was a large space of time between becoming sexually active and becoming non-religious. During that time, I put myself at unnecessary risk of disease and pregnancy. While I was religious, guilt kept me from taking basic precautions like birth control and condom use. To me, using any sort of contraceptive was tantamount to admitting that I was planning for and indeed desirous of sexual activities. Deciding not to use contraception allowed me to convince myself that my pleasure was a side effect of fulfilling my boyfriend's desire for sexual activity. I suggest that this is a very common behavior among the most religious, because we know from all the research they are having sex, but they're feeling guilty as hell after they do it.